What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Hey, yo, I gotta step up my COE game. Hey, Marc, you are a whole Marc. For those who don't know, today Marc uploaded a video on his Patreon where he's interviewing Brian McKnight's ex-wife, the one he had the first set of children with, his eldest son, and their only interview, their only tell-all. And this is hilarious to me because if you've been living under a rock in this community, not even 2 weeks ago, Anton Daniels had Brian McKnight on his show. They had an interview. It was going copacetic on their end, and it would have remained as such until they decided to take shots at Marc Lamont Hill. My dumb butt interjected in this, and I was trying to have a sit down with Marc and Anton. I made a big fuss about it and everything. But what y'all don't know is behind the scenes, I watched Anton's response to Marc, and he was going crazy on Marc. The humanitarian side of me came out and was like, Marc, I don't even want y'all to have this conversation anymore. I'm not going to continue to pursue this because this nigga was talking at you crazy. You need to fire at this nigga. Marc laughed, went on about his day. And then I saw others try to take up with that mantle and give Marc's answers on how he feels. And I'm like, all right, I see how this game is being played. So you got to keep your shit in the tuck until you release. Pause. But anyway, that's why that interview never happened. I thought Marc was done with it, but Marc is just using this to his advantage. Salute to him, because I love the play. I'm just going to be honest. And he said, fuck all this. Fuck how people perceive me. Fuck what they say about me. Instead of taking the high road every time, I'm going to start firing back. And because he really feels that Anton is a nobody, these are his words, not mine, he's going to fire at Brian McKnight and keep this fire going. When there's smoke, there's fire. Let's be clear, everyone. This is not a shot at Brian McKnight. He's going to get the airwaves and the traction, and it's already happening. His Patreon took off. This is a shot at everyone that was involved in that interview. So, Anton, this is for you too, nigga. If I can go above and beyond to do this for Brian McKnight, the person I assessed to stardom, what the fuck do you think I can do with you? And if you have this in the tuck with my producer reaching out in the back channels trying to get an interview with you or get you on my platform, it wasn't me trying to go on yours. Imagine the shit that I'm trying to dig up about you. Because a lot has been told and a lot has been, I guess, unearthed about what Anton Daniels did to come up on his bread. Me personally, I don't give a fuck. But if you're firing in my direction, and if Brian McKnight is talking about he can debate me and he can kill me in a debate, I have something for your ass. Holy shit. It is an hour and a half long. And I'm going to be honest, I'm about 40 minutes into it. It's not the route that you think he would take, but him sitting down in the room with them, period, is gonna kill everything. And then if y'all remember his rant that he had towards Brian McKnight, he got a little loud about it. And he said that I speak to your kids and have conversations with your kids about you and the lack of fatherhood that you have provided to them. And a lot of people thought he was joking. A lot of people thought he was just saying that just to get a reaction from Brian. Notice Brian has kept quiet. Notice when Brian got called out for reaching out to the Joe Budden fan page or the Joe Budden pod page and not Joe Budden directly, he didn't have a retort for that. So Marc was like, okay, I'm not going to let this die out. I got something for that ass. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to be honest, Marc has a lot of interviews in the tuck, and I told him to just re-release the interview so people know this is a lane that you traverse as well. But he said, fuck re-releasing interviews. Although he did it, so shout out to him for taking the advice. Fuck re-releasing shit. I'm going to put out new interviews. And I know he's paying attention to the traction that Imani got on his Patreon. So much so that he got an interview or did an interview for Imani. Interviews work well when you're good at interviewing. Marc always is a standout when it comes to the interviews that he attends on the JBP. So much so that, hey, why can't I just do this on my own? Hey, Mark, just in case you haven't already figured this out, you can create your own show behind the paywall and people will pay for it if you start releasing clips to the public. So don't be surprised if you see a clip from this interview on his YouTube page. Anywho, damn, guys, this COE shit's getting real. Because I'm always on the fence when it comes to this shit. Every time I'm in the middle of it, I'm like, man, I don't want to come off looking like the bad guy. I remember telling my brother, I was like, I'm not even going to pursue this interview because there's a relationship that I'm building with Marc that I don't want to sully because it seems like I'm trying to get in good favor with Anton. My brother was like, nigga, when it comes to this content shit, you can't even go in there focusing on relationships. I'm like, damn, you're right. And sure enough, Marc was like, I hold the same sentiment. So it'll be funny, and I'm going to be curious to see where this leads to in the future because best believe a shot is going to be formed and aimed in Marc's direction, whether it comes from Brian McKnight, whether it comes from Anton Daniels, or whether it comes from members of their communities. Sheesh. And quiet as cat, Marc's been stepping it up on the pod too. He's been calling niggas out on the pod. And I'm paying attention to it because he spoke on Ish and Ice and their lack of preparation for topics and their lack of, I guess, just conversing. These niggas will answer a question and that be the end all be all unless they disagree with something, which is funny because they'll get mad at Joe for poking and prodding at them with disagreements. Well, nigga, every time we agree on something, y'all don't have anything to include to the conversation. And Marc and Joe are talking behind the scenes. They're not on lockstep with each other because they have their own internal beef going on. But when it comes to everybody else and how they're potting, they're absolutely talking to each other. So now we got to pay attention to all of this. But Marc, his plan, he's putting that shit into circulation. He said, fuck holding back, fuck pumping brakes, nigga. We going all in. So, oh, Lord. I'll finish the rest of this interview, and if there's something interesting, because like I said, it's not in the direction that you think it is, but the fact that he's talking to them in general is bad enough as is. And speaking of which, y'all know I covered the JVP, but guys, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of want to watch this documentary that came out today with 50 Cent. I might make a video on that too. Y'all let me know if y'all want to see that, and if so, I'll put it on YouTube. If not, I'll put it behind the paywall on Patreon. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking. You already know what it is, man. This is nuts.